Hello, dreamers. We gotta talk. We gotta talk about Dreamsnaps. I have been browsing through results the last couple of weeks, and I have seen an increased amount of robberies in Dreamsnaps. What the hell just happened? Did you see that? Did they just level up or something? What was that? So in this video, I've been doing a lot of thinking lately, and I just wanted to express my thoughts about Dreamsnaps and potentially the changes in Dreamsnaps ranking that we've been experiencing, and why do I think it's happening, what can we do about it, and just generally express my thoughts on this opinion. And I would love to know what you think about Dreamsnaps. So there is no denying something changed in Dreamsnaps, and you can argue it changed a while ago. I personally noticed the change a couple of weeks ago. What happened to the sky? What is this? Okay, sorry, I keep getting distracted. So Dreamsnaps, how do they work? How does the ranking work? No one knows, but there is lots of theories there. There is lots of strategies to potentially improve your chances to get high results. One of the most popular theories about why certain submissions get constantly robbed is because of the tag count. So some people believe that the tags need to be as high as possible to give you the highest chance to basically unlock the full potential of your submission and have a chance to get as high reward as you can. The problem is that no one knows what importance do tags have in Dreamsnaps. Some people believe it's the total count. Some people believe that it's the amount of items that have all 4 tags for the current challenge that matters in the end. Also, another very popular theory is that the submissions that don't get shown a lot tend to score worse. And all of these theories could be true or could be false. We have never gotten any official confirmation from developers of what actually is important in Dreamsnaps. Do tags even matter beyond being able to submit your Dreamsnap? Sometimes I would analyze Dreamsnap and try to figure out why it scored lower than the person expected. For example, let's take a look at the shot by Joel. It's a beautiful submission. Just if you look at it, like, does it look... The way I think about it, I do voting on Dreamsnaps, and when I vote, I get half of my shots that are either quest shots or shots in front of the well, or shots in some other character's apartment, or shots that just like selfies in front of just generic landscape that has sometimes nothing to do with the theme. So by that logic, if somebody made a Dreamsnap that looks like this, that fully fits the theme, like, come on, this is Slumber Party right there. It has perfect lighting. It has perfect composition. It just looks absolutely stunning. The question arises, how on earth does this get 900 moonstones? How does it score in the in case you didn't know, here is the rank. How does the rank work? So 300, everyone gets 300. Then, if you manage to get top 70%, you get 600. Top 55%, 900. So people who got 900, they basically barely managed to get into the top 50% of submissions, which does not make any sense to me, because 50% of submissions that I saw did not look even close as good and on theme as the ones that got robbed. So let's try to think. What can cause a submission that looks absolutely incredible, is fully on theme, has perfect lighting, and super attractive and draws your eyes to it? What can possibly cause people to not vote on it and vote against it? Well, there is multiple factors that can affect it. I have personally seen multiple people on Reddit and other platforms admitting to voting for the worst submission. So they literally say they look at 2 submissions and they vote for the one that they think is worse, because they feel like they are helping that person to get a better rank, because the person that they consider better, the logic is they're gonna get their 4K anyway, so let me help out this worst submission to get a better rank. So I'm not even gonna go into into everything, why I don't agree with this approach whatsoever. I already talked about it in another video, but this could potentially mean that some people could see some incredible submissions. For example, someone could have seen this submission, and I'm just giving one example, but there has been many shots, not just 2 or 3. There was so many shots that got 900, 600, 1200 that, in my opinion, deserve to be much higher, and in opinion of pretty much anyone who commented. So there is a chance there were multiple people who just voted against this picture on principle because they were trying to give potentially a new player a better chance to get 4K. So that's one of the reasons why people might not vote on a great shot. Another reason would be it simply got matched against even better shot. Like this shot is probably better than 90% of the shots, 95% of the shots I see when voting. But there is a chance, because the pairings are probably random, there is a chance that this shot got paired against multiple very, very top-notch, incredible submissions. And it does happen sometimes. You're voting and you just see 2 absolutely stunning shots and you just cannot choose which one you like more. They both deserve the vote, but in the end you have to end up rejecting one of them, and sometimes you just get unlucky. And if you get enough of these situations during a voting period, that can drastically reduce your rank. For example, a simple shot, like a very basic, generic, simple shot that someone spent maybe 10 minutes on, that get paired against a bunch of quest photos and shots that have nothing to do with the theme, is gonna have higher vote percentage than, for example, this shot that got paired against a bunch of top-notch, like literally top 10 level submissions. And you might think, in the end, it should all shake out. Like, there's plenty of people voting, so it shouldn't matter if a few people get to vote against your picture for no reason. But if you think about it, it does matter. Let's assume that there is around 200,000 people on average participating in each Dreamsnap challenge, which means that 200,000 people submit something to Dreamsnap. If you think about it, out of those 200,000, probably most people are going to vote because they want free moonstones. If people are doing Dreamsnaps, they probably want to vote to get even more moonstones. So let's say, once again, 200,000 people, let's say all of them do 10 votes. I feel like it's a realistic... Like, I don't think... If I'm being honest, I don't think most people go beyond 10 votes. I know there's a lot of active members in the community who vote a lot, and I really appreciate you for it. It's incredible. I feel like the more votes we get, the less chance for randomness to occur in the results. The more times every picture gets seen and voted on, the less all of those random votes that we receive are gonna matter in the end. But the thing is, on average, each submission probably receives around 20 votes, because if somebody does 10 votes, they basically vote on 20 pictures in total. So if everyone who submitted a shot voted for 20 shots, that means every submission gets 20 shots, 20 votes. Now, of course, there is a chance that some people don't vote at all, or potentially some people vote more. So let's go to the upper standard. So I truly believe that there is no way that on average submission receives more than 30 votes per week. So 30 votes is nothing. Now, of course, we have to take into account we have no idea how does the voting works. Does it mean that, for example, if your picture got voted on 20 times versus somebody who got voted on 19 times, that means you're going to be higher rank? I feel like it doesn't make sense. It should be percentage based. So let's say 90% of people chose your photo, so your rate is 90%. So that should be the one determining your reward. Not the number of votes, but the percentage of votes that you got, that you won versus the ones that you lost. That feels like the most fair metric. So I'm going to assume that this is the metric that being used. So every time you lose a vote, it affects your percentile in the end. So out of 100, let's say somebody who took the first place probably got 100. They got lucky and they got paired against submissions that were like a very easy choice. But that's not all that's required to get the first place. To get the first place, you also need to get lucky to not get shown to any of the people who either vote against you on purpose, or another thing, there is plenty of people, and I've seen this myself, there's plenty of people who don't vote at all. I mean, they don't vote, they don't look at what they vote, they just choose a side. For example, today I'm voting for the right picture, and they just click on the right 10 times and exit, and that's it. And if you have to like have certain amount of luck that if you are gonna be shown to one of those people, you're gonna be the one on the winning side. So you're gonna be the one getting that vote. And getting even one of those random votes go not in your favor can knock you down from first place to like place 2000 because of how little votes the pictures get. One vote can knock you down tremendously. So I'm not saying there is no skill involved in getting the first place, but there is very, very much of luck involved. You have to not just win the votes that people actually putting effort in comparing to images. You also have to win random votes where people just vote randomly. So lots of luck. Lots of luck is required to reach number one place. And that's why there is so much randomness in rewards. Literally, your submission being shown to certain people might completely derail your chances this week. And somebody else who didn't get shown to people who vote randomly might have a higher chance to actually placing where they belong. There is also lots of different ways people vote. And let's open another beautiful submission that got absolutely destroyed this week. Nolan got 900 for this insane shot. That's a crime if you ask me. But there are certain people, once again, I've seen comments, people saying they saw people admitting that online, and I've seen some of them myself. There are certain people who don't vote for shots that have premium shop items, just out of principle. If I don't have the items, you're not allowed to have them, so I'm not going to vote for your shot if you use them. Or they think that they already have enough moonstones since they probably buy them because they have all of these fancy premium shop items, which is not true. There's plenty of people who are completely free to play who just earn their moonstones and buy very specific premium shop items. So I'm not saying any of this is right, but it is the world we live in, and this is something we have to take into consideration. So people downvote for you for just having premium shop items. Some people admitted for not voting for images that have any sparkles. I know, right? What's wrong with sparkles? There are people who don't vote for dark shots. There are people who don't vote for busy shots. There are people who don't vote for selfies in outfit challenges, which, once again, you can make an argument that it makes sense because you have to see a whole outfit. But the point is, I'm not trying to judge anyone for the way they vote. It's a free country. It's a free game. You can vote however you want. But what I'm trying to say with this is that all of these different criteria make it virtually impossible to predict what's going to be, like, what kind of people are you going to get your submission shown. Imagine, out of 200,000 people who play this game and submit Dreamsnaps and vote in Dreamsnaps, once again, I don't know the number, I'm just estimating. Out of all those people, your submission will be shown to around 30. 30! And if you get some of the people whose voting philosophy goes completely against yours, which means they probably not gonna like your submission, even if it's objectively good, but they might have a principle that you're gonna violate with your shot. For example, like what principle could have Nolan violated? I could argue this submission is probably a little bit too busy, a little bit detailed. So you could have gotten your submission shown to somebody who likes simple shots. Nothing wrong with it, but you lost the vote. There is so many factors, and all of these factors get amplified because there is just not enough people, not enough eyes on submissions. 30 people is nothing when there is 200,000 people competing. For the results, for the ranking to actually be fair, it needs to receive at least a couple hundred votes to iron out all of the random swings and make the results be much more fair. You need at least a couple hundred votes. And that's only possible if every single person who plays votes a couple hundred times. So that's not going to happen. We know it's not going to happen. What would be the solution? So we talked the problem. And the problem is, I know I keep saying there is something wrong with Dreamsnaps, and there is a chance there is. There is a chance there is a gaping hole in logic in the way submissions gets shown. Maybe there is tags, but like once again, all of the things that I just mentioned have nothing to do with tags. Have nothing to do, like, it assumes that every submissions gets shown equal amount of times, which might not be even true. There is lots of theories that tags, why are tags important, is not because tags affect your score. It's because there is an algorithm that sometimes likes to pair pictures that use similar items. So the more items you have in the shot, the more chances you're gonna have to be paired against other pictures. And that also might mean that the more times your picture is gonna get shown. So if you get more votes, you can potentially escape more of the effect of that randomness in Dreamsnaps. So if you got, for example, 50 votes, when most other submissions got 30 votes this week, you might, like, it doesn't guarantee you're gonna do well. It's just gonna remove a little bit of that randomness. So if your submission is really good, it's gonna have higher chance to actually get closer to the rank it deserves. So that actually makes sense. But once again, this is just a theory. There was no proof. Sometimes you can analyze a submission and see that that's exactly what happened, but I've seen plenty of submissions with minimal tags in top 100, top 10, and I've also seen many beautiful submissions with insanely high tags getting 900, 1200. So to me personally, I don't think the tags themselves matter. It's potentially maybe a couple items, because there is another theory that using items, I think it's the one that started by probably Senpai, and I watched his whole video about this theory, and I just personally don't agree with it, but it's a solid theory because he says that the most important factor is the number of items that have all 4 tags in your shot. So for example, he suggests using every single furniture item that has all 4 tags in furniture challenges, and using every single outfit item that has all 4 tags in the outfit challenge. And it does make sense. It does make sense, because if you use those items that are on the very top of the list, most people who are lazy, who do not want to spend a lot of time on their Dreamsnap, they're just gonna drop a bunch of those top items. They're not gonna scroll all the way down to find the perfect item to fit their shot. They're just gonna make a shot with the most highest tags items. And what that means is that if the theory is true, that the shots get more visibility if they can be paired against other shots based on similar items, you have the highest chance to be paired against many shots, many of those low effort submissions, if you use the same items. So it makes sense. It makes sense. But once again, I've seen plenty of results that completely disproves this theory. I have done incredibly well in my Monsters Inc. submission, and I have used 0 of the 4 tag items, even though there was 2 of them. And I've seen plenty of submissions that had both of them on that looked incredible, that scored much lower. So in my personal experience, that theory doesn't work 100% of the time, but it's a very solid theory. I feel like it's even more solid than just purely the number of tags, because you can get the tags from the items that nobody ever gonna use, so they're not gonna help you to get matched with more submissions. So all of this, sorry, I'm talking a lot in this video, but I just wanted to get it out. I see so much frustration. Okay, let me find another Rob submission, because we've been stuck on this one for a while. Oh my god, and Sophie, I'm so sorry, another 900. Oh, you did it in the library. This is so beautiful. Oh, that hurts my heart. So what was the point of all of this? The point is that we will never find out if there is anything wrong with the algorithm, if there is a certain way to improve your chances to get in 4K. From what I've seen in the last few weeks, people who had the longest 4K streaks ever got knocked out. And a lot of people who didn't even put any effort in their shots got their best results. So what it tells me is that the randomness in Dreamsnaps is an all-time high. It might be due to the error in their algorithm. It might be due to just all of these factors that I just said. I feel like the Dreamsnap voting is like a self-fulfilling prophecy. If people starting to feel that frustrated and that whatever they do, it doesn't matter, that means they're probably going to be more likely to just randomly vote and not, like, they're so frustrated with Dreamsnaps, they don't even want to try anymore. So they just randomly vote, or they just submit lower level submissions, and other people are going to try to maybe vote for them to make them feel... I don't know. There is too many factors, and with the limited amount of votes every submission gets, all of these factors are amplified tremendously. So the Dreamsnaps nowadays feel absolutely random. You can get anywhere from 600 to 4,000 for, like, you can take two submissions that objectively look very similar, have similar style, have similar lighting, similar composition. One of them will get 900, one of them will get 4,000. The randomness is insane. So what can we do about it? First, I want to express a couple ideas that I have for developers on how they could potentially make things a little bit more fair. And, well, number one is to make sure that no old submissions get shown, no, like, wrong submissions get shown, and make sure that everyone gets the last submitted submission for the correct challenge shown. I'm not sure if that's happening right now. I've seen a lot of submissions that just don't make sense to be shown in a current theme. It seems like it was submission from another theme, but it might be just somebody just decided to submit the same shot for some reason. Anyway, another thing that they can do, and I think they should do this, is that when you vote in Dreamsnaps, instead of, like, right now, I can literally just spam click one side and be done with voting in 10 seconds. What if there was a timer? After you get shown the next pairing, give us 5, maybe 10 seconds that you cannot vote, that you are forced to look at the submissions. There is plenty of people who, like, if somebody votes randomly, they're not gonna, like, if they're forced to stare for 10 seconds, they will have to psychologically make a decision and actually vote for something that stands out more. I feel like if people are forced to look at the snaps for longer than half a second, I feel like we're gonna have much more fair playing field, and each shot will get the attention it deserves and potentially much more fair chance at competing, even if it's not the most flashiest and the one that grabs attention, but still a great shot. Looking at it for a couple of seconds longer might actually sway people's opinions. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much the main thing, in my opinion, that would make the Dreamsnaps much more fair. Also, maybe more incentives to vote every day. Maybe instead of giving us 5 moonstones per vote, maybe give us 1 moonstone per vote, and make it that we have to do 50 votes a week. If every submission starts getting from 10 to 50 votes, it's going to become so much better. So in combination with timers, 50 votes, still, if we have 5-second timer to vote 50 times, maximum you're going to need 240 seconds, which is 50 seconds, which is like 4 minutes. It's 4 minutes a week. It's not a big deal, but it's going to help Dreamsnaps tremendously. And the final part of this video, I want to talk about what we can do about this situation. I'm sorry, Luna Star, this is a beautiful submission. This deserved more than 900. What we can do? Nothing much. Nothing much. In my opinion, I've seen so many people being extremely frustrated and upset with Dreamsnap results lately, to the point where a lot of people just don't feel inspired to do this anymore because they probably gonna get robbed. And I totally understand the sentiment, but for me personally, Dreamsnap is more than just moonstones that it give you. Now, of course, I feel upset if I get a lower rank that I think the submission deserved, but we also have to keep in mind that a lot of factors are out of our control. It doesn't mean that your submission was bad if it didn't score well. It just means that some events did not go in your favor this week. But this randomness also means that if you got robbed one week, The next week, you might be the one receiving extremely high rank when you wasn't expecting it. This is why it happens. It's so random that people just don't expect good results, and they might still get it, even for the submissions they didn't think were that great. So if you give up this week, you're robbing yourself of that chance of actually getting lucky that week and actually scoring much higher than you expected. So it goes both ways. It's not just people getting robbed. It's also, I've seen plenty of people saying that they have no idea how they got such a high result for this shot. So the random goes both ways. Some weeks you're going to be on the bad side of it. Some weeks you're going to be on the good side of it. And the only way to keep going is to just keep making the shots that you're proud of and that you enjoy. Just remember, it's a game, and Moonstones is just a bonus. It's all about the creativity that you express in your shot. It's about the process. It's about creating something that you enjoy, that you are proud of. That's where the most fun comes from. Now, of course, it's nice getting 4,000 Moonstones every week, but right now, I personally don't see how it's going to be possible with how random the Dreamsnaps are. Even if you are the best artist in the world and make absolutely mesmerizing Dreamsnaps, there are going to be weeks where the chances are just not going to be stacked your way and you might get robbed. So it's going to happen, and we as players have a choice. We either get frustrated and give up on the game that we enjoy and that brings us lots of happiness and helps us relax and helps us cope with the cruel world outside. Or we can just exclude Moonstones from the equation. Like, we don't equate Moonstones to how much fun we have creating Dreamsnaps. We only do it if it's fun. If it's not fun, if the only reason you do Dreamsnaps is to get Moonstones, then you probably shouldn't put such detailed and massive, lots of effort put into it shots. You could just make like the most simple submissions that take 5 minutes. You're probably gonna have a decent chance to get 4K anyway. But I think people do these shots. People spend hours and hours spiraling. I'm talking about myself, but I'm sure I'm not the only one. People spend hours spiraling, not because they want to get that 4K, but because it's actually fun, and it's the satisfaction of getting that perfect shot in the end. I feel like that satisfaction is much higher than satisfaction of getting a high Moonstone reward. Anyway, let me know in the comments, what do you think? I feel like overall, if you just keep making Dreamsnaps, keep making shots that you enjoy, you're gonna have some up weeks, you're gonna have some down weeks, but in the end, it's probably gonna shake out to something that is fair on average. That's just my opinion. I try to look at it positively. I spent about 4 hours making this Dreamsnap for this week, and it's probably going to do very poorly, but I had fun, and I'm very proud of my final result. I made something unique. I challenged myself, and I overcame lots of obstacles, one of which was Wally and Eve. They just didn't want to sit down. I hate them so much, but I also love them because in the end, they actually did what I wanted them to do, and I ended up with a great shot that I can call mine, that I can upload to Dreamers Portal, and be proud of. So yeah. Okay, sorry, this is a very long video of me just rambling, but I wanted to talk about it. I see a lot of people getting very, very upset and giving up, and it just hurts my heart. Guys, don't give up. Don't give up. If you have fun making Dreamsnaps, just make Dreamsnaps. If you get don't expect high rewards, and the worst thing that can happen is that you're just not gonna get a good reward, but you already expected it, so it's not gonna hurt you. But if you do get a great reward, then it's gonna be a pleasant surprise. This way you will never be disappointed. Thank you so much for watching. Huge thanks to all our amazing supporters. I'll see you in the next video, and take care, my friends.